Morning, everyone. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the current state of AI. Think back to 2023 when I created this presentation, and it's a primer for business owners that I provided to an organization called Entrepreneurs Organization. So really what I wanted to provide is some perspectives on AI, and I've looked at thought leaders in the space to try and draw some inspiration and some messages. So if we look at this board here, we can see that Andrew Ng has called AI the new electricity. On the positive side, we see that Elon has talked about AI as a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization. So we kind of have two sides of the coin here. We see the benefits and the risks. Software is eating the world, but AI is going to eat software. Another interesting quote. Another quote talking about the risk is from Bill Gates. Humans should be worried about the threat posted by artificial intelligence. Pretty simple message there. But as you can see, AI is in the media a lot today. There's a lot of people on both sides of the coin talking about its promise as well as its risks. And I'm here to talk a little bit about that as we go through today. So we've got a set of topics here. We're going to be talking about what AI is all about, a brief history. Why is AI's time now? What are businesses doing today with AI? What will the next few years look like? And how can a business plan for and incorporate AI into their strategy? So if you think about AI, you really don't have to look very far to see that it's all around us. If you're watching Netflix, you can see that there's recommendations that are being made for your watching, and all of that's being powered through AI. Waze from Google for navigation is using AI under the covers to help personalize your driving experience. Uber drivers that deliver food and learn about your preferences, that's using AI. And self-driving cars that react to changing conditions. So some of these technologies are being implemented very successfully and almost transparently. Some are not as successful, as you can see with the self-driving car that's been in an accident. So taking a step back, what do we really mean by AI? And AI is artificial intelligence. So if we look at intelligence, there's a lot of debate about what actually defines intelligence and in humans and how machines might mimic it. But intelligence is really the ability to achieve goals in the world. Varying kinds of degrees of intelligence exist in many animals and even in some machines. So that's a very broad definition of intelligence. Artificial intelligence is really the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs, so software. It's related to the task of using computers to understand human intelligence, but AI does not have to confine itself to methods that are biologically observable. Very interesting insights from Professor John McCarthy, who has been coined as the father of artificial intelligence. AI also refers to the development of computer systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as speech recognition, problem solving, and decision making. AI aims to create machines that simulate human intelligence, allowing them to perceive the environment, reason, learn, and interact with humans in a natural way. And that's where I talk about how it's almost transparent. AI encompasses a wide range of applications. We've got virtual assistants, we've got online chatbots, we've got autonomous vehicles, we've got image recognition and personalized communications. So a lot of areas. And the other thing that is surprising to people not in the industry is AI has been around for a long time. They've been talking about it since the 40s when we were trying to solve encryption problems and decrypt messages. The internet came around through the DARPA projects and also DARPA funds some AI at MIT in the 1960s. And then we can see it evolving through time to where we see a lot of innovation and a lot of change in the 2000s and up into the 2020s. In terms of AI, there's a number of branches. So when we talk about AI, we may be talking about all of these things or one of them in particular, depending on the context. So machine learning, a lot of people have heard about that. It's the ability of algorithms to learn and adapt as they are fed data. Natural language processing is the ability to do speech recognition and take action based on speech, and also potentially feed it back to you. Computer vision, the ability to do facial recognition and other vision activities. There's expert systems, robotics, knowledge representation, reasoning, planning and scheduling, and of course, neural networks. So all of those branches have particular attributes and are specialties in computer science. So in terms of the technical side, what kind of problems can AI solve? So we talk about classification as being a big one. So predicting a category or class to which an observation belongs. And that's one of the problems I'm working on with Standard Carbon right now. How do we classify activities that a business does and translate them to carbon footprint items? And we're using AI and machine learning to do that. Regression problems, where we're predicting numerical values or quantity based on some input variables. Reinforcement learning, which is an approach to machine learning where an agent learns to take actions. I talked about natural language processing and computer vision. So those are all sort of broad technical categories of what AI can do. If we think back, to 2022, I think that's when AI kind of came out of the box, and when we actually saw AI make leaps and bounds in terms of adoption. So it's been the fastest adopted application in history because of all the things it can do and the hype around it. It's an explosive global phenomenon, and it became an inflection point for people's public adoption. And doing ChatGPT and other applications where you're putting some of these capabilities in the hands of the consumer is what's really driven that. And I also think that when we look at previous technology waves that were flashes in the pan, I don't think there's any way that AI is really a flash in the pan, because it's so broad, it covers so many areas, and it has been moved into the consumer space extremely rapidly. But it's more than just ChatGPT. There's a number of platforms, all the big players, Google, Meta, Facebook, and OpenAI and Microsoft have all been spending billions of dollars of research and releasing applications in this space. And again, in terms of a hype cycle, we see this hype cycle was created in 2021. It's a little bit dated, but we can see how there's a lot of excitement and a lot of hype in the early days. And then people start to look at potentially the risks, potentially the costs, and there's a bit of a trough of disillusionment before the adoption curve comes back to moving ahead. So there's a lot of hype in the marketplace today. A lot of it is actually well founded, but there's also a lot of excitement where people overlook the risks or the challenges in adopting AI. So AI challenges, it's not without them for sure. There's an unavailability of skills and talent, especially in the new modes and the new technologies. The technology is still good. It's very good, but it's evolving and maturing. And I think you'll see new releases every 3-4 months that take the technology leaps and bounds above the previous versions. That creates a challenge in that you have to be constantly watching what's going on there and constantly adapting to take advantage of it. AI depends on data. If data is not available or it's poor quality, the AI is going to struggle. And then how do you take what AI can do and how do you align it to what the business is doing to create a business case for its use? And how do you take advantage of this technology to solve some real world and some real challenging business problems? And then we have the societal concerns like ethics, privacy, transparency, bias, etc. And governments are now stepping in with things like data management regulations around the use of AI, and how we battle the cybersecurity and deep fake risks. So there's lots of challenges there. And what's happening in the early days is there's a lot of failed projects. So people are jumping in, they're spending some money, They're trying to force this technology into their business, and there's been a lot of projects that have not achieved success. It's not unusual, Andrew Ng, who is one of the guys that is often quoted, says, it's not unusual for teams to celebrate a successful proof of concept, only to realize they still have 24 months of work to deploy this into something that's useful. So people get excited, but then they realize there's a lot of real work behind the scenes. And if we look at what people are doing today in terms of AI, we can see that there's some very important use cases out there. You've probably all heard about cancer diagnosis and things like that. In the healthcare space, we see fraud detection in the financial sector. We see customer service, chatbots, etc. And then business intelligence and generating insights. And there's numerous examples out there where people have implemented AI and been very successful with it. Looking forward, where do we see AI being used? So we talked about healthcare, so things like personalized treatments where your medications are adapted and personalized based on the individual patients, trying to accelerate the process of drug discovery and moving through the regulatory process using some of the advantages of AI. Medical imaging, so taking x-rays and other medical images and learning from those and being able to spot problems more accurately than radiologists. Automation and robotics, I'm very passionate about the first one there, robotic process automation, really taking your business processes and eliminating manual steps and repetitive steps in the process. And AI can be used for that. Autonomous vehicles, advanced manufacturing with robots, those are in that category as well. In terms of finance, I talked a little bit about fraud detection and how real-time detection can happen enabled by AI.